Tonight on Cronkite News, we take a look at how local groups are helping immigrants as ICE tensions continue to rise in the Southwest.
Plus, Phoenix police are promising a crackdown on e-bikes and electric scooters. We'll tell you why and what could happen if you're caught.
And a look into what has changed for the Mercury during this WNBA season. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Lindsay Dean.
And I'm Jessica Poole. Thank you for joining us.
From staking out immigration courts in Phoenix to posing as utility workers in Tucson, ICE has ramped up efforts to meet President Trump's deportation quotas. Cronkite News reporter Ella Anderson tells us about groups mobilizing to help undocumented immigrants avoid federal agents.
As the immigration crackdown accelerates, some Arizona groups are fighting back, monitoring ICE and alerting those at risk when agents are spotted. Coalición de Derechos Humanos in Tucson is one of these groups.
Well, we have a very large rapid response network. We have over just 100 volunteers that are part of the organizers, the community organizers, and then we have another 100 that are legal observers.
Other organizations such as Puente Arizona and the Borderlands Initiative also put out ICE alerts and send volunteers out to accompany migrants at immigration court.
At the heart of what it means to be American is that we believe and we value freedom so strongly and so fiercely. So when we're seeing something that directly goes against what freedom means, I think that calls a lot of people to action and makes people angry.
According to ICE statistics, over 8,400 people have been detained in Phoenix since 2025, second only to Harlingen in South Texas. On average, ICE arrests 1,600 people every single day across the country. White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller threatened in a meeting last month that he would fire senior officials if the agency could not reach 3,000 arrests per day. Jaramillo, who grew up undocumented in Arizona but is now a U.S. citizen, knows how vital community support is to those in fear of being deported.
I was taught to always avoid law enforcement, to avoid Border Patrol, and when ICE came about, we knew that, their presence could mean indefinite separation of our family. But I had never lived through a mass deportation agenda the way I am now.
ICE has declined to comment on whether it views the work of these watchdog groups to be illegal interference with federal law enforcement. But last week, 2 men in Arizona were charged with assaulting a federal officer after allegedly tailing ICE agents who had detained a young woman. The incident has left other volunteers worried their efforts may also lead to arrest. In Washington, Ella Anderson, Cronkite News.
After protests in Los Angeles over ICE raids, former ICE Director Tom Homan, the White House deportation czar, threatened to arrest protesters this weekend for interfering with federal agents. This comes after Trump sent over 2,000 National Guards and Marines to Los Angeles, also in response to the recent protest.
Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the cost of sending those National Guard troops and Marines is more than $130 million. Hegseth said he made remarks before the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee this afternoon. And also today, President Trump was asked how long the National Guard will stay in place.
Until there's no danger. It's easy. Look, it's common sense. You ask me that question. When there's no danger, they'll leave.
Back here in Arizona, you may have seen those scooters laying on sidewalks or zipping down streets. They're becoming more and more popular, but there are also dangers. Cronkite reporter Oz X has the scoop on how Phoenix police plans to crack down on these motorized commuters.
The increased popularity of e-vehicles and other motorized forms of transportation, there are also laws to keep both riders and pedestrians safe.
So for e-scooters and e-bikes, you must be 16 years of age and older, and they are prohibited on sidewalks.
Phoenix PD also recommends that you wear safety gear like eye protection and helmets, although it is not required on scooters and e-bikes.
With motorized motorcycles, and motorized bikes, it is going to be considered essentially the same as a standard motorcycle with a petrol or diesel engine. In that case, you are supposed to have safety equipment and have insurance like any other vehicle in the state.
You have to be 16 years or in order to operate it. You have to have helmet and eye protection if you're under the age of 18, and it's also prohibited on sidewalks as well.
The penalties for breaking these laws are unclear, but police say right now they are focused on education because the dangers are so real.
But we have seen an increase of injuries. I think most recently we have had a fatality, including 2 of them.
In Phoenix, OzX, Cronkite News.
Phoenix Police states that it's important and a part of the law to yield to pedestrians while on motorized vehicles.
Now, as we move north of Phoenix, crews are fighting a wildfire burning near Flagstaff, but with fire. It was started last week by lightning, and firefighters were treating about 4,000 acres with controlled burns to prevent it from spreading further. The area surrounding the fire has been closed for public and firefighter safety. Drivers can expect smoke on U.S. Route 180.
Real estate in the valley is a buyer's market. The Arizona Republic reported that home prices in the Phoenix metropolitan area are flat or slightly down compared to last year. According to the Arizona Regional Multiple Listing Service, the number of houses for sale increased by more than 50%. The median price of homes fell 5.2%, with prices slightly rising in a few valley cities.
Now, coming up after the break, we'll take a look at some of Arizona's students who are getting a hands-on lesson in democracy.
And it comes with a special guest. Middle schoolers participated in a civics camp at the state capitol. Brandon Cadiz from Cronkite News will take us along when we return.
Can we expect any relief from heat, or do we need to crank up our ACs? This week's forecast coming up next.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
Welcome back. A group of middle schoolers had a unique opportunity early today.
That's right, Lindsay. I hear there was a special guest today. Cronkite News reporter Brandon Cadiz joins us in the newsroom with more on today's event.
Yeah, that's right, Jess. A lot of us may remember visiting the Capitol as kids, but Camp O'Connor is more than just a field trip. I got a chance to watch a day of camp today and saw kids excited to see how democracy operates.
It's Legislative Branch Day for dozens of middle schoolers from Title I schools across Arizona, and it's their chance to step into the shoes of lawmakers. Part of a free merit-based civics camp, students learn how a bill becomes a law and try it themselves.
It was really interesting because we got to hear from like a real person working in the government about what their day-to-day life is and how they interact with other people like the legislature and judicial branches.
And this year, Governor Hobbs hosted a special meet and greet, offering words of advice.
Really look forward to seeing how you take what you're learning and use it to make a difference in your communities.
Camp O'Connor doesn't just teach civics. Students leave the camp with qualities that help them build confidence and maybe encourage them to someday run for office themselves. And when students leave the Capitol and head back to their classrooms, the hope is that they take with them a deeper understanding of America's democracy, with a belief that their voice has a role in shaping the future.
This is very different from like a classroom experience. We get to go outside, learn about the real world, if that makes sense. And also, we just get firsthand experiences, which you can't get in the classroom.
Camp O'Connor launched its first summer camp in 2017. This year, the camp runs from June 9 to June 13. Other days featured in the camp include judicial, executive, and citizenship days before a mock political convention on the final day. In the newsroom, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News. Now back to the anchor desk.
Two people were arrested after authorities found 2 African wildcats in a basement. Police say the cats were found during a drug bust. Owning these types of wildcats requires a special permit, which officials say the individuals did not have. During the search, police say they found heroin, fentanyl, and meth. The suspects are now facing several charges.
Hello, from the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Jania McFarland. As we settle into our evening here, we see that triple digits are here to stay. Sitting at about 104, we're not going to get a break until about 10 p.m. when we cool down to 97. Our early morning lows here, Phoenix is going to see 83, Quartzsite's going to be 79, Kingman is going to be 71, our friends in Tucson seeing 76, our cold spot being the Grand Canyon at 44 degrees. Continuing on into the daytime here, our highs are above average. Phoenix, you're seeing 107. Bullhead's heating all the way up to 110. Page is seeing triple digits at 100. Our friends in Tucson here, 103. And that cold spot's still going to be Flagstaff at 85. Heading into the rest of our work week here, we see we're sitting at 107. Our average temperature for this time of year is 103, so we're a little bit above that here, and that won't stop until we head into our weekend here. You see that we heat up even more. Saturday is 109, Sunday 112, our hottest day, so please stay hydrated. Monday we stick at 110 degrees, and then Tuesday we finally cool down back to 107. Before reaching 108 on Wednesday. It'll be sunny and dry for the rest of the week, so please stay hydrated and make sure to find some shade. I'm Jania McFarland from the Cronkite Weather Center.
Coming up next, a fond farewell to a staple in Arizona high school sports.
Longtime executive director for the Arizona Interscholastic Association has announced his retirement.
We'll take a look into his legacy and impact when we return.
meet so many new people who are on different communities. And when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely like surprised me, like the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice.
I'd say cozy.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Kobe Mitchell. Starting off with a bang, Josh Naylor came in clutch for the Diamondbacks in their game against Seattle last night. Picking up in the bottom of the 11th, tied at 4. The bases are juiced for Naylor, and he takes Carlos Vargas' offering deep to right for the walk-off grand slam. Now that's Naylor's first grand slam with the Diamondbacks and his 8th homer of the season, giving the D-backs a much-needed win in extra innings. Naylor's walk-off helped the Diamondbacks snap a 3-game losing skid with the 8-4 win. The D-backs will face the Mariners tonight in the second game of the series. While it might not be football season for the Arizona Cardinals, just next door, the Arizona Rattlers are looking to defend their championship from last season. The Rattlers began the 2024 season as the Hunters, but at 7-3, the defending champs now find themselves as the Hunted. Currently, the Rattlers have the second-ranked scoring offense in the IFL. Only the Green Bay Blizzards are higher ranked than them. The team just lost back-to-back games for the first time since the 2024 season, but last time that happened, they bounced back to 3 straight wins. The Rattlers players say they're getting used to having a target on their back.
It's a mindset and it's consistency of just staying honed in on the main thing and just keeping that the main thing.
The Rattlers looking to continue their quest for a second championship in a row as they return home to Desert Diamond Arena on June 14th to take on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Despite the challenges the Phoenix Mercury have faced so far this season, this team is writing their own chapter in the franchise's history. As Cronkite News reporter Gabby Salguero reports, this fresh start is taking on a new era strong.
It's been a roller coaster so far this year for the Phoenix Mercury, with the offseason moves giving the team a strong start to their new franchise rebuild. They face injury challenges, but have been able to make adjustments as they sit at 6-4 after 10 games.
I think we're a strong team, in terms of group, so we just need to pour, energy into each other and just not think too much and keep playing basketball.
The Mercury lost 3 out of the 5 starters to injury so far in this young season, but have figured out a system to keep themselves competing at the highest level regardless of their current circumstances.
Just so exciting already to feel that trust in each other and to also know we're also creating a new culture, and it's something so special that we have going on.
The Taurasi and Griner era is long gone for the city of Phoenix, but a new era of resilience and grit is in the making here for the Phoenix Mercury. Despite a few bumps in the road, they are still at the top of the rankings in both the league and in the Western Conference.
I think we understand the pecking order. We've got all the young rookies that are here and playing well, and then you've got some veterans that aren't afraid to speak their mind when they see stuff, which is awesome.
This new Phoenix Mercury team has everything against them, yet they still manage to give their best performance every game. This shows the team's mindset and what we will continue to see for this new era under Nate Tibbetts. In Phoenix, Gabriela Salguero, Cronkite News.
The Mercury are back in action tomorrow night as they host the Dallas Wings. For the 19th time in program history, the Arizona Wildcats are heading to Omaha for the College World Series. A battle between East versus West. The University of Arizona is set to face off against Coastal Carolina in the first round of the series. This will be a match from 9 years ago when Coastal Carolina beat the Wildcats to win it all. Game 1 is set for Friday afternoon in Omaha. After more than 40 years in Arizona high school athletics and nearly 2 decades, the Arizona Interscholastic Association Executive Director David Hines is stepping down. But before he does, he sat down with Cronkite News reporter Jessica Poole to reflect on the legacy he leaves behind.
It's time for somebody else to take the lead, and it's my turn to give back to my family.
From PE teacher in the late 70s to executive director of the Arizona Interscholastic Association, David Hines never imagined a journey this long. But along the way, he's led with his heart and a mission to create opportunities for every student athlete.
I always thought I would really like to be eventually an athletic director, but I did not have any real plans to come work at the association.
Hines championed expansion and inclusion across the AIA, bringing in girls wrestling, adaptive sports, and beach volleyball. They've even partnered with the Arizona Cardinals to help push girls flag football.
We are going to enter our 4th year with that, and we have gone from 50 schools to 150.
As with growth comes many challenges. Leading the COVID crisis, Hines and his team had no blueprint, just teamwork and a trust in medical experts to bring sports back.
We have a sports management advisory council, and with that sports medicine, a lot of doctors, a lot of athletic trainers, they were very helpful in helping us create some of those policies.
For Hines, sports was never about just competition, but character. He helped students grow beyond the scoreboard.
You move on no matter what you do. You go to college, you go to the workforce, you go to the military, whatever it is that you decide to do, when you move to the next level, then you are prepared.
Now, preparing for retirement, Hines reflects on the athletes, the growth, and the legacy he leaves behind.
We gave our kids opportunities that we provided, our championships and playoffs and games that kids really enjoyed being a part of.
For the AIA and athletes across the state, Hines' leadership will be remembered not just for championships, but for the lives he helped along the way. In Phoenix, Jessica Poole, Cronkite News.
Outspoken vocal leader.
David Hines leaves behind a major seat to fill. His new successor is Dr. Jim Dean, who will resume the role on July 1st. That's it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Kobe Mitchell. Back to Jess and Lindsay at the anchor desk.
Kobe, coming up next, we'll bring you an unusual situation that was caught on tape.
That's right. Things got a little unbearable for one Virginia neighborhood yesterday. Residents called animal services to complain about their new neighbor, a black bear stuck in a tree.
When I was younger, there were no engineers around me, so I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
freedom.
Friendly.
Nice. I'd say cozy.
Welcome back. Some bears get stuck in a honey jar,
but one black bear in Fairfax County, Virginia got stuck in a tree.
The bear was seen making itself at home as a crowd gathered to watch it roaming the community and climbing on trees. But it had no luck finding any picnic baskets.
Thankfully, animal services weren't hibernating on the job. They tranquilized it and took it away so that it could get its bare necessities. The bear's wearing a tracking collar. Officers say Fairfax County and the Virginia Department of Wildfire Resources are monitoring its movements.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Lindsay Dean.
And I'm Jessica Poole. Thank you for joining us. And to see our top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.